Okay, just make one further follow-up on Chandler Zavala. Did come home with us on the plane. So again, continue encouraging all positive stuff. So we'll see how he responds this week and act accordingly.
Could you get any more clarification on his injury exactly?
Just from what I understand at this point, from what I've heard, this is more from last night, just a really bad stinger.
You get a chance to talk to him, Frank?
I talked to him on the plane. Yeah, just went back to check up on him on the plane.
How were his spirits?
His spirits were good. His spirits were good, and his spirits were good. Obviously, thankful that everything checked out well, and so yeah, he's doing well.
Did he just go back home? I mean, there's no like staying overnight in the hospital for observation or anything like that?
When he got back here, I think he just went home. I don't know that for sure, but I'm pretty confident that that's what happened.
It seemed like that Miles Sanders fumble really stunted the momentum that you guys were trying to gain. What did you see and how that changed kind of the complexity of the game?
It was interesting, that they went out to a 14-0 lead. We came back, scored a touchdown. Our defense gets a big stop on fourth down. We come out and obviously had to fumble. Sure, it stopped the momentum. If we go down and score there, it's 14-14 and it's a game. But you can never just put it on one play, right? We never try to do that. And then they went down and scored, and then we got the ball, and then we turned it over again. So those two turnovers in a row, back to back, obviously were a big blow to what momentum we had been creating.
Frank, Terrace Marshall didn't play yesterday according to the box score. Why is that?
That he should have played. He should have played some. So I wish he had gotten in there a little bit more. That's my fault. I need to make sure. After the week he had the week before with the 9 catches and got a little momentum going, and he and I had a conversation, and so that was poor communication by me. I wanted to make sure that our guys knew to kind of make sure he had some playing time and that there would be opportunities. So that was my fault.
How does that happen during the flow of a game? You lose track of it, or what happens?
Yes, I did. I did not do a good job of telling our coaches, hey, this is what I would like to see. And just defaulted to what we were doing before he got hurt, which that's normal, right? That's normal. Okay, hey, he's back, so now let's go back to where we were going. But I thought Terrace had done enough, that, hey, let's not just go back to exactly how we were doing this before. He should get some play time.
I'm assuming that you and David Tepper have an open line of communication. What has your dialogue with him been like?
Talk to him every week, multiple times. Usually talk either Monday or Tuesday after a game, and he's super competitive. He wants to bring a winner to the Carolinas. He's wants it now. Wants it now, and pushes me and pushes us to that end. He wants to do whatever it takes and turn over every stone, churn it as much as he has to produce winning football. So I appreciate those conversations. They're always very challenging. He's a super competitive person, and he's not going to sit idly by.
Yesterday you alluded to this week really being your best week of work. On a practical level, what does that look like for you? Where do you look to adjust?
Just in every way. First and foremost, in the preparation. If it takes a little bit more, collaborating with the coaches, looking for an edge, how can we give the players an edge? We're always looking for that, but just challenge yourself to find, hey, is there one other play that we can run? Then on the field, how can we push the guys on the field? What's the right, scheduling thing, or in practice, what that looks like, and then watching the tape of our practice. Are we correcting the mistakes that we see on practice tape so that they don't show up again on game tape? Don't leave any little detail out. Those weeks get very busy. There's a lot of stuff going on, and so you just got to make sure you're covering every detail.
Are you fighting within the game with your team the "here we go again" thing, whether it be sudden change or when the other team gets a takeaway. Do you find yourself fighting that?
I don't find myself fighting it. I don't feel that. I know sometimes people say that. I just don't think like that. I never really have. We all have weaknesses, you know, and I have my struggles, mental struggles in other ways, but that's just not ever been one of my mental struggles. So, you know, the only thing that we know is let's just line up and keep playing, and you know, line up and keep playing. So that's what we do.
Frank, when you say, maybe I'm misreading that. When you say David Tepper won't sit idly by, what does that mean exactly? I mean, is he getting more involved in some way? I mean,
No, I
is
just think
he
it's-
asking for things to happen? What?
Well, listen, I don't want to speak too much for him, obviously, but you know, there's different philosophies in ownership. You know what I mean? Some owners kind of stay away and don't engage a whole lot. Other owners do, and his philosophy is he's going to engage. And listen, it's only been a short experience, but it's been a really good experience. It hasn't been fun. You know, it's not fun. Those meetings aren't, I wouldn't characterize them as fun meetings. But those meetings make me better, and I trust they make us better.
How does he usually engage? Is it like on a Monday morning, and what was the conversation like this morning then?
No, it's either usually Monday later in the day, or else sometimes more recently it's usually on Tuesday, you know, because Mondays are pretty busy. We got the players in here. He's got stuff going, you know, so Monday's pretty jam-packed. So it's usually either late in the day, Monday, or many times it's Tuesday.
Has he talked to you, Frank, at all about any potential staff changes?
No.
To go back to Zavala for a second, I mean, I don't know, a bad stinger, I know kind of what that is, but does that mean, I mean, in your estimation, will he be out several weeks, would you think, or you can't go that far yet?
You really can't go that far, because those things, like, there's no two that are the same. And then you don't know how they're going to respond to them. So sometimes guys respond really quickly, and it's like, boom, they're playing the next week. Other times it's a couple weeks, you know. You just can't tell. So that's why, you know, we'll take it day by day.
I asked Bryce yesterday about extracting the good amongst the losses. What did you see that he did well yesterday?
There was a lot he did well. I mean, like, we got done meeting today as a team, and like, I just felt like, excuse me, and I know this is hard to say after that game, but like, offensively, we did some good things that we can build on. You know, that was the #1 run defense. We ran the ball very efficiently. Our run game was very efficient against them, and you know, we only would have liked to call more runs, but you're playing from behind. But I thought the O-line blocked well in the run game. That was a promising sign. You know, we got some chunk plays. Bryce was seeing the field well. He was accurate with the ball. His decision-making was very good. The screen pass interception, that's a fluke. I mean, it's a great play. You know, it could have been better. There's some things that could have been better there. The other interception, honestly, it's, you know, the receiver doesn't run the proper angle on the route, and it brings the corner more into play. Bryce is already committed. I'm not trying, but that's just the facts. That's just the facts. So there were a lot of good things, you know, I mean, offensively. I felt like we moved the ball. You take away the 3 turnovers. The thing that was most frustrating is the 6 pre-snap penalties, right? So that's what we're saying. Those things have to stop. Too many positive things, but these things that are pulling us back are really hurting us.
Are those mental errors, the pre-snap penalties?
Some of you know, you can put it in a category of, you know, it could be a guy jumping off sides, a guy lining up incorrectly. So sometimes it's a mental error, or, you know, you miss it. You know, you jump on the snap count, you get misaligned. There's a delay of game, those kind of things.
Frank, about Dave saying one to win now, we've also heard him say Rome wasn't built in a day. Is there an understanding by ownership that, you know, you're sort of beginning this process with a new staff and a new quarterback?
No, And listen, I mean, obviously he's a very accomplished individual, and he's built his own empire, and and he knows how he did that. So I don't have his bank of experience to draw from. I have my own, but I think he has the right mentality of the win now, but also this is going to be, a longer term thing as well. He wants both. I mean, that's what we all want. We want to build a winner now, and we want something that can be sustained. We want to build it on the right foundation. Sometimes, he's got a lot of money, so we could throw a bunch of money at this guy, that guy, and then it ends up blowing up in your face. We can all give examples of teams that happen with. We're trying to build it on good principles, build through the draft, re-sign your own players when you can. It doesn't always make sense, but when you can. And so I think, obviously, he has a great perspective on that.
What have you discovered about how to do that, being able to really build authentically and organically, but also the winning now portion of that?
Yeah. I mean, this game is so demanding, and the challenge is, and it's hard to win. But at the same time, it's that juxtaposed thing. I think you hear people say, hey, it's hard to win in this league. And then on the other hand, I like to say and think to myself, it's really not that hard. Just play good football. Don't beat yourself, make the other team beat you, and make a few plays, and you're going to win a lot of games. And so we always want to be, losing. What we talked about today, I've talked to several players talking to me. Losing is never going to be acceptable, even though we're trying to win now. And and you got the thing in a few. No, it's never going to be acceptable. It should never taste good. It should always hurt. And I'm thankful that we got a bunch of guys that really feel that.
How is this rebuild different than other rebuilds that you've been a part of before?
Well, I'm not calling it a rebuild. I mean, I'm not calling it a rebuild. Actually, let me say it this way. I think everything is always building, right? I mean, I think, and we probably all would agree with that. Like, we're always building. We're always building. Are we doing it? Yes, now, but we're always building. And so I'm really comfortable with that. I think players understand that. We understand that as coaches. So you just want to see some fruit of your labor a little bit earlier than we're seeing it right now. I'm confident we're doing it the right way with the right people. We just need a little bit more evidence, a little bit more fruit right now to get things going.
We'll do a couple more.
Even on the concept of going back and recording practices, is that something that you normally even have time to do during the week of game prep? How new or how much of an adjustment is that within the routine?
Oh no, yeah, that's we do it all the time, and always trying to cover every last detail. And then the question comes after practice. You're showing things to tape, but then you're showing the tape to the players. But sometimes, and then sometimes, like at night, I'm watching it on my screen, and I'm have my phone up, and I'm videotaping the play on my phone and sending it to a player, and say, like those are sometimes just to iron out a little detail here or there. Just trying to get as many touches and corrections as we can in that way.
Frank, we seem to ask you this every week, but another week where Hayden was not super involved or super productive. Is this just kind of going to be the norm with him in this scheme?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, obviously, tight end room, Tommy had the touchdown. Ian had the big play down the seam. And it just so happened, because we were in no huddle, so sometimes guys are rotating through. It just so happened maybe Hayden's not in there for that play, but he could have very easily been in there for that play. He caught the couple over the middle, one or two over the middle. But, no, we love Hayden, hoping to get him the ball.
Does Bryce and what you guys are doing, does he work better right now out of the no huddle and just keeping it moving fast, or is there a thought about doing more of that to get him in a tempo? Or
I think in the long run, I think we probably always end up switching it up a little bit, but he certainly does seem to feel comfortable doing that, and has been productive doing that. So, yeah, and as you guys saw, we played a good bit of that game yesterday in no huddle, so we'll look at that week to week.